I always say that Mega Evolution is different from Standard Evolution because the base Pokemon remains, right? Every single Mega Evolution, for the most part, its eyeball, like that's kind of a really easy way to tell, its eyes will remain the same. At the end of the day, what's a good example? I don't know, Garchomp, right? Mega Garchomp is still a Garchomp. It is not a fourth evolution, but it is the Pokemon growing beyond its limits and becoming everything up. It's pretty much growing. It's evolving as much as it can evolve before it truly could be considered a separate species. And while I've always said this, I also think in order to accomplish a good Mega Evolution design, the Pokemon still needs to transform and take on, I guess, its own identity. That's kind of that's maybe that's like a preference, but I think those are maybe some of the most successful Mega Evolutionary designs. And what I want to talk about today is Mega Feraligatr. I'm not a fan of this design. I love Feraligatr. I love Totodile. I think I'm not, I don't think I'm like blinded by rage. I really don't care too much for the toilet memes. That's not that interesting to me. But I think what this design fails to do, or maybe what annoys me by the people who are defending it, is yes, base Feraligatr is good. In pretty much this design that we have is 99% Feraligatr. Maybe 95%. There are a bunch of enhancements. It gets some more armor and spikes on its arms. There's a couple of different, I guess its nails are now like a darker color, right? There's a couple different details that do change, and sure, that's nice. But I think when I look at this Pokemon, it is really not doing enough to actually warrant its Mega Evolution. This to me is closer to Professor Tangrowth than an actual proper Mega Evolution. This just feels silly. I feel like what this is like Game Freak has sacrificed a proper, memorable Mega Feraligatr design. They've sacrificed that in order for a meme, in order for them to, instead we got a design that is a reference to Totodile, but only a fraction of the time when you actually use this Pokemon. This Pokemon is even being, showcased, right? This official art on the website right now, Mega Feraligatr. It's the big jaw Pokemon. Nothing about this looks like a big jaw. It looks like it is. I want to be logical and make this make sense. I tend to lean logical when it comes to Pokemon. I'm like, okay, I want to suspend my disbelief. I want to just be in belief. I want to just live in the world, and I look at an animal outside and I'm not like, wow, what is this thing? It serves a purpose. And every defense I've heard of Mega Feraligatr, right, as a Mega Evolution, as a design, great. This is cool because it's Feraligatr. I love Feraligatr. I'm nostalgic for Feraligatr. But every defense of this Mega Evolution, not the base Pokemon, is that it looks like Feraligatr, so it's good. Also, there's all these lore things that you just don't understand, Dusty. You don't understand, Dusty, right? You don't understand. But why do I have to do outside research in order to understand this? This looks so stupid. There are so many amazing Pokemon designs, and there's so many fine Pokemon designs that have really cool design inspirations, references, right? In this particular example, what I hear about is Feraligatr has a double jaw. So when Feraligatr bites down with its second jaw, it's actually a reference to the fact that baby alligators hang out in the mouths of their parent. But that doesn't matter. Any Pokemon design is going to have references that are as interesting as that. It comes down to the execution, and I think those extra things are in service to the execution of a proper design. That's my gripe with this. And again, I want to be clear. If you like it, fine. I don't care if someone else wants to enjoy this. It's good if people enjoy things. That's nice. But I can't get on board with this. It doesn't make sense. People say that this is the thing. Not even people. The Pokemon Company is referring to this giant jaw when it's in the upright position. They refer to it as what do they call it? They call it a fin. Its dorsal fin plays many useful roles. And again, I can't suspend my disbelief to believe this is a fin, a dorsal fin. The purpose of a dorsal fin is to help a fish or an aquatic creature be more adept to its environment. And this thing is like a parachute. It's like trying to, like when I'm rowing in a boat, I put my oar in the water to stop the boat. So this thing is even slower. In no way is this a physical adaptation or an evolutionary adaptation. It's ugly. It doesn't make sense in the world. It bothers me so much. And the reason why I wanted to make this video is because, and again, I love Feraligatr. I'm a Feraligatr guy. I literally have art over there that I've commissioned with friends. And there's a Feraligatr over there. I love Feraligatr. I'm a Feraligatr fanboy. That's like one of my oldest Pokemon cards is literally a holographic Feraligatr. Like, I like Feraligatr. It's that's not what this is. What I just want to boil this down. This Mega Evolution is a failure as a Mega Evolution because it doesn't do the base design justice. It doesn't change the design enough. It's also, again, serving the reference that it should be a good design in the world that makes references. Even Pokemon I don't like Alolan Dugtrio, I get why it has hair, right? Because in the previous evolutionary line, or in the stage that Diglett, you can see it has a couple sprouts because they're supposed to be like magnetic filings or whatever. Okay, I get the joke. It evolves into Dugtrio. Now it's got a whole luscious hair. It's stupid. I don't like it, but it does make sense. It does make sense. It makes sense. It's stupid. I don't like it, but it makes sense. And it is a joke as well. Okay. All right. Calm down, Dusty. All right, calm down. So, Yusino made this gorgeous, this is a fix. They fixed Mega Feraligatr. Basically what they did, for listeners, the hat or the toilet seat, the top jaw, now instead of being folded all the way out and the teeth being like folded outwards, the skull, this like additional jaw, maintains its shape and it sits on Feraligatr's head. It's kind of bobbing to show the movement as Feraligatr moves. And you can also see that the helmet doesn't go all the way down because Feraligatr actually has a fin on its head. Feraligatr still has spikes on its head. So this second jaw is sitting on top and resting on top of the Feraligatr's spike or whatever. And so now you can still see Feraligatr's face, and the jaw actually is sitting on top of Feraligatr's main jaw. Again, I feel like that's just like servicing the point of this design so much better, which is that it is a double jaw. It's not one jaw and then you have flaps of whatever. I don't know. I look at this. I don't know. I just look at this and I'm like, this is what we could have had. This actually, and it's so stupid because it's a little thing, but the fact that the jaw floats all the way back, it does. I don't know. I just feel like it's not serving what they're trying to do. It's almost as if they cared more about referencing Totodile than anything else. It's just so stupid. It's so stupid. I like Feraligatr. I look at this, and if I look at base Feraligatr, and I just stare at its face, and I'm doing this right now. Let's do it together. And I'm imagining the jaw isn't there. I'm like, oh, I like this redesign of Feraligatr. I actually do. It's got some additional bits. It doesn't look, it's an earlier generation Pokemon. It doesn't look so naked. It's got a couple other. It's got additional pads of armor. That's cool. But then I, unfocus my vision and I see this stupid thing on its head and I'm like, that's so stupid. It's so stupid. And this is the key art. This is how you represent the Pokemon. How could it be the big jaw, the double jaw Pokemon if it appears to only have one jaw? I don't know. It just seems silly. We have another render of this by Cardinal. Really awesome person, super talented. And they did a little bit different of a version of this. Their first version is the jaw is still above Feraligatr's head, but it's like up. It's up even more. And I still think this is super imposing. And actually, what I'm realizing is that having the jaw actually be down permanently actually allows me to see for Totodile in this design so much clearer. You know? Here's another version that I guess this is the same version, but it's actually a 3D render that they're working on, Cardinal. And I love that you can see Feraligatr's eye poking out of the fang, right? He's hiding. It also functions as a protective barrier. But again, I just think it's so stupid that like, in order to reference Totodile, that's fine. I actually think, and maybe I'll make a video, people get kind of wishy-washy about this, but I actually think every single Mega Evolution calls back to something in its previous stage, if that previous stage exists. So I have no problem with the reference to Totodile, but you can't even see it in its official art. You can't see Totodile. But with these new versions by these artists, you can actually permanently see. I can see the Totodile. It's a red Totodile. I just love it so much. I think this actually would have made Feraligatr be. I just would have enjoyed it a lot more. I don't know. I've used Feraligatr in ZA, and I don't know. I don't know. It just feels like a wasted opportunity. It really feels like a wasted opportunity. Meganium is so good. Embor, I still don't really care about Embor that much, but it enhances the design. And Feraligatr had a lot of places to go. It could have done a lot of things. I've seen some really cool art. This one's by Bulby Boy, where it gets these obviously more spikes. It's a lot more straightforward of a design, but it gets like these really big gauntlets almost. Ondu Region made this version. Again, it's got more plated armor. I think this one doesn't have this one's not as memorable. It's really, really fearsome. It's got like a steel type. That's cool. I love that Feraligatr has a dragon type. Like, I think that's super cool. And there's a lot of fun ways to do this. But for me, if I'm just looking at what Game Freak gave us, and I'm not just saying like, oh, it should have all these other things and be a completely different design. If I'm just looking at what we literally were given, I think all it needs to do is just put the helmet down more often than not. And I think that's so good. The red coloration is great. I do love this one right here by, I think this was by Lestava. Yeah. And I think this is really cool to see that like Feraligatr gets all these additional spikes and horns on its back, tail, arms. It still looks like Feraligatr, but it's got this like second jaw underneath it, and it's got another second jaw on its head. So now those things close when it bites. There's two crunches, two bites, and it serves as some armor, so it's like protective. I don't know. Again, I just want to stay on track. Like, this redesign, if you can even call it that, this little tweak truly would have saved Feraligatr for me. And I'm disappointed. I don't know. If this is your first time watching this channel, I'm not a hater. I love Pokemon. I frequently get called a shill. I like Pokemon. I always look for the good in from this series. I'm a Pokemon fan first. And I wanted to like Feraligatr. I really did. I really wanted to like this. I'm disappointed. That's all. I'm just disappointed. Let me know what you think about Feraligatr, and subscribe. We're almost at 1,000 subs.